Right, turn 60, and what's that, 3/4 of the way through now. Drawing to an end. I was just thinking, I don't know if I'm going to actually play it all the way through. I'm having a look at parameter data, another 20 turns. When does night come? Night, dusk is 1900, and hours of twilight. So, yeah, I've got a little bit of time left, I suppose. Anyway, this turn, what did he do then? Well, he didn't really do anything up at the north. He didn't do anything around here either. Opened up with... I did lose a gun here. He opened up with 2 or 3 batteries here that he could see. He carried on moving troops and guns forward. So he's sort of aiming for a point, imaginary point here somewhere maybe. Good for me if I have troops that can actually do something about it. Let's hope they can. Around here, nothing major. Well, nothing at all really. Still got his cavalry there. And yeah, that's about it. So I'm going to get straight into moving stuff around and get back to you in a few. Straight back into movement and combat then. So up in the north, Althoff carried on moving that cavalry round. They're starting to they're pretty much in position where I want them now, protected by that sort of ledge. And we can, as last time, open up with some artillery. Now they've disappeared. There was 2 units in there. So remember both of them being 100 odd. So they've scarpered, maybe routed. We did get a good hit last time, 40-50 I think. This artillery can't see anything. Got another gun coming up. I'm going to set it up where that sort of red house is, overlooking there again. Cavalry continuing just to sort those guys out. Didn't really do anything here or here. Continued moving troops around the back of Eylau, just to bolster if I need around the cemetery and bolster anything I need around here. Now here we do have some troops. No, we don't. We don't really have anything to do with them. Okay, I thought I did. Maybe they're disordered when I moved them. Did I move them? No, I didn't. But we've got a big old stack here. But we do have cavalry all set. Oh dear. So I'm not allowed to use them. Now I've only got 90. And I lost my charge with these guys. But I'm going to try anyway. And see what we can come up with. Can we? Costly. Very costly. But we can use powder. Low ammo, so supply cart a little bit closer. And we do have... Do I want to take the guns? I think it's better if I take the guns. I'll try to. Okay, push them back, good. That's a big old hex there. What's he got there? Now we want the marshal to have a crack there with those line troops. Push them back. Doubt to be able to push these guys back. 3 in a row? No, not quite. We can fire on them. Get these skirmishers back. So there's a lot of kicking off here. A lot kicking off. Get them set for a charge next time. We've got the with 500 there. Don't know if they're any good or not. And we've got some guns. However, luckily these troops I'm bringing up. Got 700 or almost 800 there, and we've got 465, but they're tired. However, a double pronged attack. Let's see if we can, and let's get leader up there. Let's get Colonel Anonymous into the fray and see what they can do. Nice, happy days. So I'm pleased with that. Around here it's going to be very much artillery, seeing what they can see around Sir Palin. So we'll go for the troops, I think. Counter fire, of course. They can't see anything. They can only see here. So counter battery fire, just because pretty much there's nothing else to do. Remember, it's not that effective. Okay, he's gone down to 1 gun. Good. They couldn't see anything. They can. I think that's just over 5 hexes, I'd say. Yeah, or 4 hexes. Yeah, yeah. I don't think there's much else I can do that's well out of the range of that artillery. They're disordered, they're disordered. So, got my 2 lines of cavalry, one more stack to approach, and then I'm just going to take from the left and right and make some, and just basically sort them out, unless they can actually charge and just get rid of these guys. They're fairly fresh. And resolve that. Guard cavalry, hopefully got time now, just with night starting to creep in. Pull them out of the way. They're going to continue on the journey on the road. Right, 3/4 of the way through, I suppose it's good to have a little bit of a recap where we're at. Up in the north, around Althoff then, I've got a lot of fresh troops. And my plan is to soften up the cavalry with artillery, push them across the river and deal with the Prussians that I'm sure are around Schleditten up here. I've put the cavalry on the flank just to rest, reorganise, recuperate and get into a good position to hopefully deal with this cavalry and fall down on their flank from the north. I've got these 2 stacks of cavalry here with Kolber and Walthier just overlooking this crossing, because he has used it before for his Prussian cavalry, so just in case anybody tries to cross, they're in a nice position, primed, ready to charge. My heavy cavalry is in this area northwest of Eylau. They were busy. They have pushed Russians back here in combination with the 2nd Division troops here. And yeah, they were quite successful actually. So they're going to pretty much sit it out where they are. Another Colonel Anonymous. Eylau, he's moved some troops and guns up, so I'm going to have to be very wary when we get to that 6 hex visibility. They've pushed everything back. They've managed to fight everything off that has come their way and getting it out there so they can order themselves. I've pulled this gun into a better position, pulling troops just sort of that were up here fighting earlier on around the south of Eylau to come to that area around the cemetery to bolster. And it's quite a big attack he's actually put on this windmill knoll, so we're fighting off. We're doing we've sort of steadied the ship a little bit and checked his attack, but now he does have his guns that he's going to unlimber and open hell up. But we're in amongst them. We've got Marshal Ogaro there, and he's been successful in bringing troops up from the west of Sir Palin to join them as well. So that's the situation around the windmill knoll. Around here, it's taken me 60 turns to attempt to try and get a left flank. I remember my initial plan was to have a front line or jumping off point from Sir Palin to Klein-Sausgard and to Mellenkheim, sort of in a southwest to northeast going line, and then push up on his flank. He must have seen that coming because he chucked an awful lot at me, especially around Klein-Sausgard, and he surprised me. And Sir Palin, it took a fair bit of fighting, as you can see. Look at the planes there, big heavy cavalry actions all around there, but we managed, we held our own, we pushed them back, and established a front line to, yeah, I think I will attack eventually. Cavalry were heavily involved up here as well, but I'm pulling them back to reorganise them now. Guard cavalry got not obliterated, but they did their job, I suppose, of holding the enemy whilst the other troops could arrive. Having a look at numbers then. So, crept up, I've lost 10,500 infantry with 6,000 cavalry and 56 guns. We haven't lost many guns, we lost quite a few in the sort of the first third, 25% of the game. 22 leaders. However, get to him, what's that? Almost 27,000 infantry gone and 10,000 cavalry. 132 guns as well, so we've taken a quarter of his guns and we've also lost a quarter of our guns, I suppose. Leaders, 48. Major victory. Okay, not too bothered about the points. Let's put it into context. What was the order of the day for Napoleon at Eylau? To destroy the Russian army. Yep, and I think that's, what are we on, 35? It's getting up to half of his army if he had around 80,000, as I suspect. So yeah, we've made a huge dent in them. And okay, we've lost, what, 16,000, just over 16,000 of our 18,000, so maybe a quarter. I'd take that any day of the week. Have a look at his leaders that he's lost. Who have we lost first of all? Anybody major? We had a couple. Valve there. Oh, he went, did he? He was just there not too long ago, I'm pretty sure. That's sore loss. Lapice, he was doing so well in the early engagements around here. I'm mourning his loss. I'll have a glass for him tonight. Soule, Saru. Yeah, we're not doing too bad with leaders. Valthier was the biggest, I think, for him, his coup. But if we go down here, Osterman Tolstoy, Ataman Platov. Where else have we got major ones? Golitsyn, okay. Bagovut, Chplatz. I'm terrible with names, really bad with names. But he was worth 28 points anyway. So we got, you know, a fair chunk of victory points. Grekov 18. Yeah, so we got a big chunk of victory points just from his leadership. Just throwing everything at. But there we go. So the situation is pretty steady for now. We're still on turn 60, so as I said, 3/4 of the way through. Have a look at the weather forecast. It's going to change 100%. So this turn then, we're going to have dust, light, snow. That was 6 hexes visibility. So hopefully we'll see a few more units and get our artillery in on the action and take it from there. Right, until next one then. Turn 61, and it's gone to that dusk, light, snow, and we're on 6 hexes visibility now. So having a look, what can we see around here? We see his cavalry up there, with their back to us, very rude. He's got some infantry up here as well. It's quite interesting, but they're going to get the treatment from artillery as well. Skirmishers appeared there. Nothing really north of Eylau apart from these troops. They look fresh again, 200-300 stacks. 40, okay, but they are going the other way, and his guns can see a lot more now. Yeah, so they can see that second line, they can see that infantry. Poor guys, they got hit hard earlier on, so we're going to have to move them back. Around here, he attacked where he could. He's got a massive sort of super stack there, and yeah. So we're going to have to carry on and try and win back this windmill knoll, as we have been for the last few turns. Over here, we can start to see that line he's got at Kriegerberg. Good news is, though, for the most... Well, I say that. I was going to say they're not fresh troops, but there's some 400s, 300s. So yeah, that's quite a strong position he's got, and he does have a battery, as I remember, up on there. Guns around Sir Palin now. They can now see us. 1, 2... 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah, so they can see my frontline troops. They're going to have to be wary of that. And here come the cavalry. That was the other thing. In that area south of Melenkheim, east of Bekarten, I can see his cavalry coming. So prepare, boys. I'm going to get people into square and let the artillery and infantry squares do the job. I do have some chasseurs chevals there, but they're very much going to be kept in a reserve and maybe hit any cavalry on the flank. Sort my cavalry out here, or do I move it around to counter it? What's he got? Oh, so it's a last ditch attempt. Okay, there's a few hundred there, big old stack there. So he doesn't have much in the way. I've been decimated. So he doesn't. This is sort of a futile last charge by the look of it. So yeah, I'm going to sort my cavalry out. I'm not going to bring them in. I'm going to carry on with my original plan, sort my cavalry out. And because then if I need them after a turn or two, they're going to be close by anyway. Certainly not bringing the guard cavalry back. They are going to carry on with their role. So that's the plan, and I'll get on with moving people where I have to move them, and see you in a few. All moved then. Right, let's see up in the north what I can do around Althoff. As usual, start with artillery. Now he's got 100 odd there, so have another go at them. And this battery, who else have we got? 20s and 40s, 16 and 90. And yeah, it's going to be the same ones again. Skirmishers are going to bring them forward there. Where have we got? Okay, so same unit again. High fired, that's white. Help if I've got the right unit. Can these chaps see anything? So they're getting blocked by... They can't see over the tree, so they're not in the best position. So I'll limber them up and move them further north. Down here, nothing. Nothing. Here we've got to start having a look at these guys that are coming in. And I'll put those skirmishers out so they have to deal with them. Bring these guys up. Then there. Move some of the guard units back. Replace the units looking after the guns with skirmishers, just because they if they're subject to artillery fire, I don't mind losing a few skirmishers rather than the main unit and disrupting and losing some troops then. Now, can these guns see anything? They cannot. These guns can. And I was going for counter battery fire last time, which is what I'm going to do this time. Same again. Not the most effective. Plus, I don't have that many guns now, do? How many troops has he got? It's always more effective going for infantry than cannon. Okay, that's not a bad stack. So we, and then what else did I do? Started stripping again reinforcements from Eylau and bringing them to this windmill knoll. Now, cavalry here can't charge, but hopefully next time they're lined up for a charge. The cavalry here is lined up for a charge on this big old hex here. Now, it's going to disrupt them, keep them disrupted. That's the best I can sort of hope for. But other than that, not much I can do. Might rout one of their units, possibly. We'll give it a go anyway, so see what we come up with. See, that's good. No, I think usually I wouldn't expect that to happen, but that optional rule with no fire, no optional melee and fire results, sometimes it goes against you, sometimes it does, in this case, go for you. Like some of the cavalry charges I had before, when you think, Jesus, how on earth did I possibly lose that? Well, that's quite realistic, I guess. It didn't always go your way, no matter what you thought. How well you thought you were prepared. So, okay, not too bad, because I was lining up these Leger troops to have a go at them as well. However, they're absolutely cream cracker. They're knackered. We do have a charge here. I lined him up last time to try and take that gun, so we've overrun it. Another lot of guns lost. That's good. Everyone here is knackered, but they are in range to attack. Now, 5 guns and 200 men. Just to be sure I get the guns, I've lined up a flank attack and a rather suicidal head-on attack. So we'll see how we get on with that. Good. So we are sort of winning our ground back slowly and surely. Got a mega stack to deal with. What's that? Let's say 2, 3, 7,000, 1,200. So at best case scenario, 1,200 men in there. Worst case, 1,500, 1,600. Artillery wise, what can we do down at Sir Palin? I'll go with the troops up there and there. Hopefully these guns will be able to see this other battery now. They can indeed. And the troops, so we'll have a go at them. So I'm going to do, use a few turns to soften up any infantry that I can see. And then, depending on what visibility is and what time we get to, oh nice, we took that battery out completely. Who's the 2 leaders? Oh, okay, just because you're fresh, nip in, grab them. The 2 Colonel Anonymous, twin brothers. I'll tell you what, you're going to have a go there just while you're there. Okay, and they're going to come straight back next turn anyway. But, you know, it was a nice little mission. Took 2 colonels, both of them anonymous, and pushed some troops back. So that was a little worthwhile mission. Have a go at some 200 and 100, so we'll have another go at that stack. Here, I'll go with these guys. What are they, 200? Yeah, so we'll have another go. And if you've got the range, another go. I think they'll be a little bit far. 6 exits, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, okay, no, I'm not complaining. Just it looked at first glance a bit more. Right, arrange some squares here and put them down off of the high ground and I'm going to move this square here upward as well, just because it's a yeah, I suppose it is realistic. Squares wouldn't bunch up, I suppose. There would be a gap between them, because then you get crossfire in between both squares. So by leaving a gap there, he's going to, if he comes within that range, in that hex there, or here, or I'm going to have a square here as well, he's going to get caught with crossfire, lose all his points, and it's going to be a nightmare for him, as in real life, to actually go around these squares. So that is the plan there. And we do have an awful lot of artillery that is going to soften them up before they get there. Now this is very much, I think, a last-ditch cavalry charge on his behalf, on his side, because his numbers, he just doesn't have a lot. There's no big stacks, apart from one. I think there's a couple of hundred hussars in one of them. Again, who can you see? Oh, there we go. Yeah, so those guys there, nice target. Same with these guys. I can't see that hex. Got 20s, 50s and a 40. 90s in there, so we'll have a crack at those with 90 troops left. Brought my chasseurs chevals up just because they're going to act as a little bit flank protection whilst I sort out my cavalry. And then the guard cavalry, they got onto the road, so they'll get spread out and march along the road now. So quite an eventful turn. Quite happy. It's calmed down a little bit. We're starting to win back that windmill knoll, which is good news. And yeah, it doesn't look like he's following anything up behind Eylau. However, we do have some troops here, and they look quite fresh to me. So this northern part, on this high ground, we're going to have to just be a little bit wary of that. Do have some guard and legers there. We've got points, so I'm going to bring them up here as well. So yeah, it doesn't look too bad. I'll send that over and get back to you in a bit.